Hello, welcome to the show! For those of you that are new viewers, I make this show to help all you tattoo lovers out there find the best possible tattoo artist for your project. And at the same time, I'm going to point out some of the hack tattooers that you're going to want to avoid. So this week, I got an email from a viewer named Zach. He's out in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and he wanted our help finding a tattoo artist that could do a new school style sleeve on him. And well, Zach, you're in luck, because I happen to know the perfect artist for you already. But for the sake of everybody else out there in St. Cloud, let me show you guys an artist that you're absolutely going to want to avoid. Sit back, relax, let's find some hacks. Now, for those of you living out in St. Cloud, Minnesota, I went through a lot of different studios, and I found some really amazing artists out there. Quite frankly, you got a lot of good ones to choose from, but unfortunately, I came across this gentleman, Eric Cagle. Now, he is the owner of Purple Pain Tattoo Studio, and you can find him on Instagram, but he doesn't really keep up with it. Some of those posts were, hundreds of weeks old, so for some reason, he only likes to update his Facebook, and even some of those were, year-old photos, 2-year-old photos at the best. So, might be a little bit hard to find some of his most recent work, but you definitely can't miss the studio if you're driving by. Look at that, man. No matter what I say about his artwork, he put in some serious effort into this house/tattoo shop. Now, I've actually worked at studios, seen other studios that are like this, where they converted a house into a commercial studio space, but I'm never really a big fan of it just for the professionalism's sake, but man, it looks cool, and some of them are done really well, so I definitely give him props in that regard. But when it comes to the artwork, oh my goodness. Now, you guys know, usually when an artist holds up a photo right next to their tattoo, they're trying to show you, like, hey, look at how close to the photo my tattoo looks, right? Look how accurate this is. But this is just riddled with inconsistency. I'm not sure why he would hold up the photo. It's almost like he was busting himself out, like, hey, look at how poorly I did this tattoo. I mean, look at the chin here. You can see he did these outlines on all of his black. And this is actually something that's a major red flag. I wanted to point this out because if you're searching for a tattoo artist, this is something you can find that kind of lets you know the level of tattoo skill they have. For example, up here, he outlined this black work around the eye. Now look over here. There's obviously no outline on it here. That black should fade into the skin tone, that opaque gray and bluish tones. It should fade in much better, but he was worried that while he was working, he would smudge his stencil. He's jumping around, he's tattooing over here, and while he's doing that, his stencil is going to get smudged. And so an artist, if they're not professionally trained or if they didn't have a good mentor, what they're going to do to try to, fix that and work around that is they're going to outline everything. To prevent their stencil from disappearing, they'll just outline it. And that is a major problem because now this black doesn't blend into the blue. It doesn't blend into her face where it should. It doesn't blend off the eyes there. And it just looks like these solid edges of black where it should be smooth blending and gradation of black. So, major red flag. You definitely got to zoom in a lot of times because that's something you might not pick up if you're just looking at tattoo art on your phone. Here's one that kind of speaks for itself, skull, 3 roses, but what he really did here I don't like, and I see this a lot with artists, is he used a single tone of gray wash. Now, how can I tell? Well, because usually when tattoo artists are tattooing, some of them have up to 10 different variations of gray wash. I think the average artist probably only uses about 4. They do a black, a 50-50, maybe a dark, medium, light, something like that, but on average, I think 4 or 5 is about typical, but a lot of artists will just he used black in the eyes, and then he used this medium tone of gray throughout the whole thing. Now, obviously, he's missing a ton of shading up here, which tells me that either he didn't know how to shade this, or he was just kind of lazily getting it done. But either way, these roses are going to look very flat and two-dimensional when it all heals, and it's all the same tone, and there's no dark shadows in there at all. So, also I found this skull with 3 roses. Huh. That looks eerily similar, doesn't it? Look at those 3 creases in the bridge of the nose. 3 creases in the bridge of the nose. Huh. Little bumps over the eyebrows here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this one has bumps over the eyebrows too. So, definitely not cool, Eric, that I can look through your portfolio in a few minutes and see that you clearly reused some stuff. And if these clients only knew, they'd be a little bit salty about it too. Not to mention, let's talk about these roses. Look at these roses, you guys. Keep in mind these thin little bends in the petals here. Now let's check out some more roses. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me go back there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Huh. And then this one. Look at this rose up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, Eric. That's the same damn rose. You're just tracing it over and over again. Again, that's something that I'm happy when I find an artist like this that I can warn clients about it because I think this is just very disappointing to see. Again, he used just medium gray throughout this whole thing again. This whole piece is going to look really flat and two-dimensional. And I would, at first glance, might believe that he was doing that intentionally for this tattoo. But then when I saw it through his portfolio many, many times, it was just lets me know that he's just kind of lazily doing that gray wash. Ugh, this eagle is real busted up looking. That eagle has seen some better days. Usually they have kind of a slick, smooth head, and yeah, they look a lot more sleek than that, but man, that one's roughed up. Really not a fan of how he just did a simple drop shadow around the entire area of broken skin. You can see, just a really simple way to do it. I don't usually recommend clients get this much large area of white done. You can see the red stripes and the white stripes. He actually filled in the white, and this is something I really wouldn't recommend, but because you just don't know how it's going to heal. It depends on the person's skin a lot. If they have a fair skin tone, that white might stay white their whole life, but it's usually going to be an off-white or a tan, especially over years and years of sun exposure. But it is strange that he would do white in the stars and not in the eagle's head. It's also strange that this is like a waving flag, but all of these stars are perfectly flat stars. And I think, again, that's just artistically, it's a lazy choice. It goes to show a lot of sort of laziness in his design. Here it is again. Look at how wavy this flag is, but all the stars are basically just flat two-dimensional stars. You would see those waving with the flag, and I think that's a pretty obvious, glaring, fault with those pieces. Oh boy, oh my god. Do I even have to say anything on this one? I'm not sure I really have to. I think you guys can see that is clearly a kindergartner's drawing of an angel. I mean, the goal of this show is not to be mean. I don't want to just bash on his artwork, but when I see stuff like this, it's very frustrating, because I think some clients who maybe aren't artistic enough, they might see something like this and go, oh, look, cute little angel, but they don't necessarily know that the higher quality exists out there, or that there's artists out there that would do a way better job than this clip art looking angel. Oh boy. This Viking, it's a cool idea for a piece, but unfortunately, you can really see the error in his shading here. All this is just very streaky. He has a hard time blending out that gray wash, so all of his gray pieces had this kind of streaky effect to it. And if I really zoom in here, you see this chop with his shader, chop, 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 chop. And what that is, and you can really see it on this edge, chop, 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 chop. That tells me that his hand is working much faster than his tattoo machine. He's just whipping that in there so fast, whip, 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 that you can actually see every hit of where his row of needles was hitting the skin. And this is not something that artists do intentionally. This is something that usually we're trained from the beginning to kind of feather it out and to create a much smoother gradation than that. But again, I don't think he was professionally trained. A lot of the work shows. The saturation in this one didn't seem too bad. The blending is not that great. I can clearly see dark blue, medium blue, light blue. There's no real blending or gradation. I do see a lot of line errors, and you can see in a lot of these places that he did just totally miss some skin. It's not saturated. The color that's there looks bright and looks like it's in, but there's just so many little pieces of skin when you zoom in here. How is he doing that? How is he just missing pieces of skin when you zoom in? And this is something that when you're looking at the piece from a whole, you go oh, that looks great. But you zoom in and you see there's so many areas where there's skin just showing through. That's really, really disappointing. I mean, they pay you for the full tattoo. You should give them the full tattoo. Oh, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I thought this was really a cool idea, but just very disappointing that he basically just took them and stamped them in 4 different areas. He basically copied the hand. You can see the notches on the fingernails are the same. So he just kind of copied the hand, copied the bandanas, and it's sort of strange to me how the weapons just stop. The sword just stops right there, and the bow staff just stops right there. Weird choice of design, but maybe the client asked for that, so I can't really rag on him for that. This one, a little disappointing how this came out. I think he was trying to streak white up in here, but it just came out kind of blotchy and bloody. And yeah, for an eye this big, you could have definitely got some texture in the iris there, but or a glare effect or something. But again, he just harsh black outline there and then fill it in. Really, really simple to the point stuff. And oh my god, Star-Lord! Oh wow, this is just this is another one of them where at first glance zoomed out, that might look kind of cool to some of you guys, and I totally thought so too. So this was probably one of his best pieces, if I'm being honest. But when you really zoom in again, look at how choppy that black to green fade is. Just disappointing. And then all these leaf lines that don't connect, or the points aren't to points. Yeah, look at these lines that just don't connect where they're supposed to. Some lines thicker than others, some lines coming off the line where they were supposed to stop, some not going far enough. And again, with the blending, I can clearly see purple, pink, orange, yellow. There's no fade in between there. And yeah, again, when I get up close, I'm seeing a lot of negative skin tones there, or skin breaks there, where I don't think he intends for that. I don't think he means for there to be patchy little empty spots where his color doesn't fit. That says to me that he's just whipping that color in there real quick, not taking the time to feather it out or fan it out. Eric Cagle, after 20-some years of tattooing, after owning your own studio, putting so much time and effort into it, I think you really, really got to take another apprenticeship if you're going to keep on doing what you're doing, man. I think you're giving people a lot of really half-assed, quick, cheap work, and it's really disappointing to see. You don't have to be at the level of Scotty Munster, but man, I've seen way too many errors for a veteran of how many years you've been in it. So I think at this point you really got to dial it back and perfect your stuff if you're still charging people full price for incomplete work. But for now, I can't recommend anybody go see him. Alright guys, before I move on to the next artist, real quick, I just want to remind everybody that if you're out there looking to get a tattoo and you want our help finding a tattoo artist, it's no problem. Just send an email to TheHackHunters@gmail.com, let us know what city you're in, and let us know what style of tattoo you're looking to get, and we'll definitely help you out. Alright, that's it. Now let's get back to the artwork. Alright, now, Zach, this is the artist I found for you, Mr. Scotty Munster, and this is his beautiful wife in the background, Miss Kitty Noir, and the reason I wanted to showcase these guys particularly, not only is he an amazing new school artist, and that's what Zach is looking for, but also these guys get into Halloween. Oh my god, do they love the Halloween season. And man, I'm envious. Look at this. They put in some serious work on their costumes. Incredible. Unbelievable. And I'll show you here in a minute, their studio matches it quite perfectly. You can check it out, the Widow's Peak Parlor, and they got that whole vibe going on there. Just a beautiful space. Definitely go check out their Instagram. He does all the tattooing, and she's an amazing stylist, and very impressive stuff. But we're here to talk about tattoos. So if you want to check out Scotty Munster, his Instagram's right there, Scotty Munster. Just some amazing, amazing work. And his wife actually has an amazing website as well, battycat.com. Check it out. She does a lot of this custom clothing stuff. I was impressed by all of it. And again, it has that sort of Halloween themed spirit to it, but a lot of it is just really, really cool stuff. I like to have you guys check it out. Now, to the artwork. Look at this. The main thing that blows my mind about Scotty is his creativity. Look at this. Who would think of this? A little kitty playing with a heart made out of yarn? That is just brilliant stuff. Now, this is the new school style of art that Zach was talking about. For all you guys that aren't familiar with it, it usually is defined by bright, vibrant, solid saturated color, beautiful color blending, multiple line weights. Usually you have a bold outer edging and then thin lines on the inside or thin color lining on the inside as well. And you'll see it as I go through. There's definitely a theme to it. He has his own unique style of doing it, which is just incredible. But this is the most amazing part about that piece. Look at that. He mimicked it from his own painting. And the painting is just beautiful. Just beautiful, clean painting. And then he converts it to this tattoo style just seamlessly. Very, very impressive to me. He has a lot of paintings, and you can go see it on his Instagram. I'll put the link down below for you guys to check it out. But just amazing, amazing stuff. And a lot of it has this Halloween theme to it, which just makes him the perfect candidate for this month's episode. Look at this. A bat werewolf? Who thinks of this shit? I love the blending around the knuckles. Look at how precise that is down there. That white highlighting just gives it that really kind of bony flair to it. The little speckled blood. Small details in there go a long way, though, to make these beautiful pieces. Sort of killer avocado, man. I love the use of the lavender in the backdrop. It's in opposition to the color wheel, so it's going to highlight these bright greens, the dark greens, all that. It's going to contrast it very well, make it pop. He's really good at light sourcing. He's really good at making things look 3D. Here's a great example of what I like so much about his artwork. Not only is this cutesy puppy, beautifully done, but he kind of meticulously picks where he's going to simplify the detail, which, like in the legs here, there's not a lot of hair strands. You don't see much in the legs of the dog there. But then when you zoom in here, you see he did high detail in the hair up here. And I think that just goes to show he's a very intelligent artist, a very disciplined artist. He's been doing this a long time, and he absolutely knows how he likes to tattoo and how he does it the best, and it just shows. Just custom piece, and man, all of his stuff is 100% custom. There's no pulling offline, tracing it shit going on here. He absolutely knows what he's doing when it comes to designing them to fit his style of artwork. Love these little white highlights in the beard there. That's just neat little detail. Oh, octopus ice cream cone. Oh, man, that's just brilliant. Again, with the color lining, he makes great choices. A lot of artists will go overboard with how much lines they're doing. And one neat thing about the new school style is that a lot of those lines in the inside of the piece can be done with color lining to kind of reduce the amount of just heavy black line work that you see in a piece. And the cone is a great representation of that, the bolder outer edging. But then in the inside, in the waffle cone, he's doing like brown, a little bit of brown lining there to give it its definition. But otherwise, if it was done in black, it would look a lot more jumbled. Man, I just love these pieces. The creativity behind them just blows my mind. Scotty, I love your artwork, man. Just love it. Who thinks of this weird little creature with mushrooms growing off him? It's just brilliant. And for all the clients out there, this is the kind of artist you want. You want the kind of artist that's going to take your idea and elevate it. He's going to take your idea, put in some real time and effort and energy into creating something cool like this that's going to blow your mind. Oh, a neck piece. For a neck piece, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing like these leaves. They're very, very dynamic. There's a lot of artists that we've shown in the show that would definitely simplify these leaves down to just a little bit of black, a little bit of green, and call it good. But same thing, look how dynamic that stem looks. Beautiful, beautiful work. And it's not easy to do outlining on a neck, but look how smooth these bold lines are. Trust me, if you're not a tattoo artist, just believe me, it is nightmare doing lines on a neck, especially if a client can't hold still, especially if a client is not willing to stretch and kind of tighten that skin for us to help us out. I love the scarecrow. Great, great detail. I love that wood texture in the arm. Amazing stuff. And again, look at this pink he chose in the background. It's in opposition on the color wheel to that blue, so it helps it pop out. Just a really, really intelligent choice. Oh, Pee Wee Herman. Oh, man, I love it. Again, this backdrop, this is a really creative, unique idea to use only these sort of tropical teal and mint colors in the backdrop. Just make it this sort of monochromatic backdrop. I think it's brilliant, and it really accents these sort of rosy cheeks and rosy nose that he's got there. Just a really, really intelligent choice. And just when I thought he only did color work, comes up with a Hugo Montoya. You've killed my father, prepare to die. Just, man. He did an amazing caricature of this, and, you know, he converted it over to his style, but you know who that is right away. Especially that sword. That is just so iconic. Man, brilliant stuff. And I just, again, the creativity behind this stuff, I love it. These little speckles in the backdrop are just smart little choice to give it that little sugary feel, because this little toothache, he's in pain, he's throbbing. Just gives it that feel of sugar. And then the little creases he did up here with this sort of caramel tone or brown tone, just small little details that elevate these pieces. And I would love to be one of his clients. I'd love to wear any of his artwork. Just brilliant stuff. So, Scotty Munster, Miss Kitty Noir, you guys are just killing it. The studio looks great. I wish you all the best. Keep doing what you're doing. You're making our industry look good, Scotty. So, appreciate you, man. Alright, you guys, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you get notified. We put out new episodes every week. We go to different cities every week, and we might be coming to your city soon. So, stick around. We'll be back next week. And in the meantime, if you're hunting for an artist, don't forget to zoom in. Alright, we'll see you next week. Bye.